Meet Joe Fazer and Dylan McKnight, two massive fitness influencers with one very specific thing in common. They both claim to be natural when they actually weren't. One got exposed by someone very close to him, and the other ruined his career by coming clean and trying to manipulate his audience. Let's get into it. Joe Fazer's claim to fame, like many other pre-TikTok fitness influencers, was a video in which he highlighted his physique transformation, going from a skinny kid to putting on a ton of size. But from the get-go, Joe was different. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Joe's initial transformation was without a shadow of a doubt achieved naturally. He didn't enter the fitness industry with the objective to grift his way into money, which is something I massively respect about Joe and we both have in common. I also didn't choose at the start of my fitness journey to grift my way into selling one-on-one personal coaching that is in actuality outsourced to other people, while only having 2 years of experience in the gym to be able to buy a Lamborghini Urus, but only because I couldn't get my hands on steroids. Joe's entire brand was built around being a skinny guy who wanted to bulk up. Think Jack's Fit, but actually training past mild discomfort. His Skinny Kid Bulking Up series tallied around 27 episodes until he started branching out his content to more resemble the Joe that people know and love today. But it wouldn't be long after that before Joe would have his first run-in with fake natty controversy. On the 30th of August 2020, Joe posted a video titled "My Best Friend's Insane 30-Day Body Transformation from Skinny to Muscular." As the title states, Joe's friend, Jack, goes from barely ever having lifted a weight before to making, quite frankly, an insane 30-day physique transformation. This was also accompanied by crazy strength gains on a squat, for example, which went from 80 kilograms to 120 kilograms in only 1 month. Naturally, from the get-go, people started commenting that they believed that there was no chance that Jack achieved this naturally in just 30 days, to the point that Greg Doucette even made a video about the situation, and surprisingly didn't call Jack a 1 in a million natural genetic phenom, most likely because he didn't yet have a supplement brand to sign him to back then, and actually correctly says that Jack could not have achieved this naturally.
And then the transformation comes in. 30 days. 30 days. Not 30 weeks. Nope. 30 days natural. All natty 30 days. Well, let's see what the actual results were. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you seeing the before and after photos? You think this is natural?
Joe and Jack then went on to make a response video where Jack doubles down and says he's completely natural, and Joe vouches for his friend.
So, Jack, the question is, did you take steroids?
No, I did not take steroids.
He did not take steroids. To be fair, we never mentioned in the transformation whether you took steroids or not.
But we thought that would have been obvious.
Yeah.
Even though Jack was most likely lying through his teeth, I actually believe that Joe had no knowledge of Jack hopping on PEDs and was simply being lied to. However, just 2 years later, Joe would be confronted with fake natty accusations of his own. On August 5th, 2022, Joe uploaded a video titled "Opening Up About My Mental Health." In this video, Joe goes on to talk about how he's been battling insecurities, mainly in the form of his acne and his body dysmorphia. He highlights that whenever he sees his physique in bad lighting, in Joe's words, he's quote-unquote disgusted by it.
The last 2 or 3 months, I have really started taking these insecurities and it's really been affecting my mood. I get spots, which every time I look in the mirror, I'm disgusted by. If I see my physique in bad lighting, I'm disgusted by it. And it's really started hitting me up here. I will wear caps to stores to hide my face. I will wear a hoodie to hide my body if I'm in a public place and I've not got a pump or anything.
Now, coincidentally, just 3 months after this video, Joe posted a picture on Instagram highlighting how much better he looked opposed to 1.5 years prior, and his followers immediately started suspecting him of having ditched his natty card for the first time ever. Top comments included, "Great, but I really doubt that's done natty. Can't believe you gave into roids, lol. Not natural, not natty anymore," and many more comments of the like. Now, I already know a bunch of people will be rushing to the comments saying, "Stick, your expectations are absolutely in the gutter. Can't believe that you think that this physique is only achievable with roids. You just believe that anyone that looks better than you is on steroids." And while that's absolutely true and quite literally taking the words right out of my mouth, and while it is true that I believe that everyone that's bigger than me is a fake natty, and everyone that's smaller than me is undisciplined and doesn't know how to work out, you have to look at this within the broader context of Joe's progress and genetics. Joe had already been training for a little more than 4 years at this point, and combine that with his pretty average genetics, it's pretty hard to believe that he then went on and managed to put on a ton of size, while also getting way more shredded in about 1 year after already having trained for 4 years before that. And the timing of the video wherein he opens up about his body dysmorphia being posted 3 months before all of this makes it all the more suspicious. Suspicious enough to the point that friend of the channel, Greg Doucette, went and made a natty or not on Joe where he suspected him of not being natty anymore only a couple of months after all of this transpired.
And over the last several months, his physique, in my opinion, and others, and yours, it's began to look a little sus. You have to agree that Joe Fazer appears to have made significant changes in his physique this year in compared to his previous years. And so when I see Joe Fazer's face in these photos, I do believe he doesn't look natural. Not because he's so massive, he's not the size of Chris Bumstead, but when you suddenly put on a bunch of muscle, and you've been training for multiple years and your face looks like that, it's most likely the result of taking performance-enhancing drugs.
Now, interestingly enough, 8 months after Joe posted this picture, he uploads a video on YouTube stating that over the past 6 months, he lost all of his motivation in the gym, trained very inconsistently, and thus lost most of his gains.
And about half a year ago, I was in the best shape of my life.
Come on!
But these last 6 months, I've kind of fallen off the gym. I'll be honest, I've got a lot of personal stuff that's been going on, but I'm not making excuses. It's my fault. In fact, I can count on my fingers how many times I've been to the gym in the last 6 to 7 weeks. It's bad. I took these photos the other day, and when I looked at them, I hated what I saw.
This to me is just another clear marker that Joe started sipping on the forbidden Capri Sun. If you've made all of your gains while being natty, you wouldn't lose an amount of muscle mass this significant by merely being inconsistent. You see, several studies have shown that you could maintain muscle mass on as little as 1 full body training day a week. This significant amount of loss while still going to the gym every now and then to me signifies that a lot of these gains were made by use of PEDs. However, up until this point, this is all just speculation, right? There's no smoking gun, no definitive proof of Joe Fazer being a fake natty. It's pretty much all just circumstantial evidence. Well, come 2024, this would all change. Enter Tiana Clark, a demonic succubus who Joe met in a video he uploaded on February 1st, 2024, titled 1 Gym Lad vs 10 Gym Girls. Tiana was one of the contestants in this video, and shortly after, Joe would announce to his audience that Tiana and him started dating.
I've had so many questions. You guys seen her in the background of videos, asking who she is, so...
Today, I'm about to take a workout with a special guest.
Sorry. Hey guys.
So this is Tiana. We've been dating for a few months.
All seemed to go relatively well until 8 months later, when Joe broke up with Tiana and she proceeded to levy bombshell accusations against Joe, mainly surrounding those of physical abuse. Now, I want to get something out of the way real quick. Joe made a response video in which he pretty much refuted all the accusations of abuse made against him and actually reveals that Tiana was the one that was abusive all along. Joe was squarely innocent of these allegations. But these weren't the only accusations that Tiana made. You see, in her original Instagram post, she also dedicated an entire slide to pictures of empty PED vials and used up syringes that she claimed belonged to Joe. Now, I know what a lot of you will be thinking. If she lied about Joe being abusive, chances are she likely lied about this too. And while that's a very fair argument, I just find it incredibly hard to believe that this girl planted medical waste in Joe's house just to frame him in case they ever broke up in the future. But what actually seals the deal for me is that in his response video, which is about 5 minutes long, he barely addresses the PEDs and only very briefly brushes over them. This is the only brief comment that Joe made in this entire 5-minute long video about the vials and syringes that Tiana posted on her Instagram.
Then continued to try and get me back, which I just kept shutting it down. For example, I'm not getting back with you. Tiana, you can call me a fake natty. You can show my past with other girls.
In this entire response video, Joe shows multiple pieces of evidence and presents very good arguments for how he's not abusive and Tiana was actually the abusive party all along, but doesn't even attempt to discredit or disprove the pictures Tiana exposed of the empty PED vials. If these pictures were actually fake, you'd expect Joe to tell his audience such, perhaps by showing the audience that none of the pictures match up with places at his home, or at least making any attempt to clear himself. Not only would this be incredibly important to his public image as a fitness influencer, but it would be yet another easy slam dunk to prove that Tiana is a pathological liar and to discredit her even more. But instead, Joe completely brushes over this, almost as if hoping that his audience would forget and not pose any further questions, and only focus on Joe refuting the allegations of abuse, which is pretty much exactly what happened. Now here's the thing, I actually genuinely like Joe. He appears to me to be a genuine guy who, after training naturally for 4 years, started feeling the pressures of social media of having to continuously improve your physique, and because of those pressures and his body dysmorphia, gave in and hopped on a cycle. Let Joe be an example to show that within this industry the pressure is just so damn high that even the most well-intentioned individuals most likely will cave in and dabble in PEDs if present in this industry for long enough, and that someone doesn't necessarily have to have a mind-boggling physique to be on performance-enhancing drugs. Now, unlike Joe's PED usage history, your online browsing history can stay hidden by using Surfshark VPN. Surfshark encrypts your data, masks your IP address, and keeps nosy corporations, or in Joe's instance, nosy exes from peeking at your digital footprint. Instead of cycling PEDs, with Surfshark you get to cycle through 100 different countries instead, with over 3,000 different servers to choose from to mask your online identity. And while remaining fully anonymous and keeping your privacy on the internet, you're also able to access geo-locked content on all of your favorite streaming platforms by simply changing your country and gaining access to said country's full content library. This personally has been incredibly helpful to me, seeing as I live in Europe and often can't access shows that my American peers can. So Surfshark completely solves that problem for me with the click of a button. So whether you want to watch your favorite show that's not available in your country, want to stay protected while using your gym's public Wi-Fi, or even get alerted the moment your personal information leaks in a data breach, Surfshark's got you completely covered. Head on over to surfshark.com/anabolic or use code anabolic at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN completely free of charge, or simply click the link at the top of the description. And if you're somehow still on the fence, Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it completely risk-free for 30 days. I just want to massively thank Surfshark for sponsoring this video and for helping the channel out. Now let's get back into it. Now, unlike Joe Fazer, there are people that start juicing from day one to lie their way into the fitness industry, to get famous, and to make a fuckload of money. And no, I'm not talking about Hussein Farhat this time. Meet Dylan McKnight, who just like Joe got his start posting a physique transformation video, but unlike Joe, had been juicing from day one. His physique transformation, which raised a lot of eyebrows, was deemed most likely natural by Greg Doucette and many others in the industry. But as you will find out later in this video, this transformation was anything but achieved naturally. As Dylan's channel grew, he pretty much started to be known for 2 things. 1, that yee-ass haircut of his, and 2, his YouTube shorts where he would just give his audience the most bro science-esque wrongful advice while sitting in front of the camera as if he was being held hostage by terrorists. I mean, come on, he's sitting like it's his first time ever sitting down. This reel got 400,000 likes and he just proceeds to spew misinformation, saying that you can change the length of your clavicles, i.e. your bone structure, by doing a variation of deadlifts called Reeves deadlifts. As a commenter pointed out, Dylan seems to be a prime example of why you should never skip brain day.
Have you ever seen those viral pictures of these little kids that are just shockingly muscular? Well, they look like that because of a myostatin deficiency. Myostatin is a gene inside our bodies that keeps our muscles from getting too big. And guess what? Steroids are myostatin blockers, so it allows these bodybuilders that take these drugs to just get huge. So how can we lower our myostatin naturally in order to build more muscle? Well, the easiest way to do this would be by doing push-ups every day. Whenever you work out, the myostatin in your body decreases up to 44% for 8 hours. So by doing at least 100 push-ups in the morning and let's say 100 more in the evening, you'd be theoretically suppressing nearly half the myostatin in your body for the entire day, which would allow you to gain muscle very fast.
I mean, first of all, steroids are not myostatin inhibitors. That's just simply not their mechanism of action. And no, doing 100 push-ups in the morning will not magically reduce your myostatin by 50% for the day. Literally just some random bro science he pulled straight out of his ass right before filming this short. Dylan McKnight is pretty much just this meme personified. Now, the interesting part about Dylan's story is that he ruined his own career by admitting himself that he's a fake natty. You may be wondering, isn't honesty from fake natties actually what we want? Well, yes it is. If Dylan went about it the right way, I wouldn't be making fun of him right now and I'd probably be singing his praises. It's the way that Dylan went about confessing that he was on steroids that ruined his career. In this 9-minute confession video, Dylan takes zero accountability for lying to his audience for years and instead presents himself as some martyr, sacrificing his career to promote more honesty within the fitness industry, all the while flat out refusing to even apologize to his audience for lying to them in the first place. It's as if your girlfriend who has been lying and cheating on you for 3 years confesses to you, but then refuses to apologize for cheating and instead tells you that you should be happy she even confessed in the first place. Do you see how manipulative and borderline narcissistic that is?
Honestly, I never really thought I would make this video. I'm guessing a lot of you are probably gonna feel pretty let down by this. You might even feel a bit betrayed. But I'm guessing you probably just feel lied to. And that's because you have been. I lied to you. So clearly, I'm a piece of shit, right? I never asked any of you to look up to me. I'm not your God. I'm not a king. I am a man. I am fallible. All I ever wanted to do on here was to be relatable and to be personal, to be your friend. I never asked to be pedestalized. I never asked for any of that.
I never asked to be pedestalized. This is coming from a guy who literally ends his own videos with his own quotes, like he's Sun Tzu or Marcus Aurelius. How self-absorbed do you have to be? This guy genuinely has zero self-awareness. Just wait until you guys find out how he ends this apology video.
I never asked to be pedestalized. I never asked for any of that. So I want to make it very clear. In this video, I will not be apologizing for a mistake I made. I'm simply owning up to that mistake and taking accountability as a man. And that is why you will not hear me say sorry today.
Round of applause everyone for our selfless martyr confessing to his audience he lied to them for 3 years but refuses to apologize for it. Dylan truly is just doing the entire fitness industry a massive favor with this video, and we should be erecting statues of him in HTLT headquarters as soon as possible. Matter of fact, let's have Mike O'Hearn leading the ceremony too while we're at it. How are you gonna claim to be taking accountability without actually apologizing for it? That's kind of not how taking accountability works.
You know, the real truth of it is that I could continue to lie about this, keep making money from it, and none of you would ever know, just as most of your favorite fitness influencers do.
Something in my throat there. Sorry.
And do you know why they do that? Sure, yes, some of them likely use it for financial and social gain, of course.
Oh, damn. This really just doesn't want to go away.
I'm going to be crucified for this shit. And that is why people are so afraid to talk about it. Logistically speaking, this is a very stupid decision I'm making to talk about this. Specifically, financially. Right now, I'm making more money than I ever have in my entire life. I made 10 grand off of YouTube alone last month.
Quick little brag.
And the reality of this is that this could cause a lot of you to withdraw your support from me and essentially undermine everything I have worked so hard to build. But I cannot profit off a lie anymore. You know, this has eaten me alive for some time now. You know, the way I see it, you guys gave me this platform and you can take it away if you want. You know, if I'm to be crucified on the internet for telling the truth and that is my fate, then I accept my fate.
You know, the constant Jesus metaphors don't really help the narcissism allegation. If Dylan had simply come out, told his audience that he lied to them, expressed deep remorse, and sincerely asked for their forgiveness, this video would have been digested a lot better by most people. The problem is that Dylan wanted people to sing his praises for being honest, without actually taking accountability by apologizing, which just made him come off as a manipulative narcissist. He wanted all the positives of coming clean without having to set his ego aside and simply say sorry. He pretty much just wanted to have his cake and eat it too.
So yeah, just over 3 years ago now, I took a SARM. Now this is not quite a traditional steroid, you know, this is probably a category below, but nonetheless, it is still a performance-enhancing drug. The compound that I took was MK2866, more commonly known as Ostarine. I purchased them in 15 milligram tablets and I cut them in half. So I was taking 7.5 milligrams of Ostarine every day, and I did that for a month and some change. Now, I am not trying to defend what I did or sugarcoat what I did by any means, but understand that women who take Ostarine, they take more than that, okay? So this was an extremely minimal and conservative dose of the drug I was taking.
As Dylan goes on to say, the compound and dose that he claims he took is lower than what most females who take the compound take. Not only is he being manipulative in this video, I also believe he's lying about the dosages that he actually took to downplay the extent for which his gear use is responsible for his muscle mass, and therefore make him being a fake natty look less bad. Ostarine, like he said, already is the weakest SARM one could take. The dose he states he took, while it would suppress his testosterone, would not do so to the extent that he would spend years trying to recover his natural testosterone levels. This is indicative of him having hopped on multiple cycles of stronger compounds. To top it all off, the way he ends this video is with a dramatic shirtless montage of himself in the wilderness filmed like it's a cologne advert, followed by a lifting montage where he is yet again shirtless. I mean, come on, the jokes write themselves at this point. I kinda respect it, you know, like a true Chad, he refuses to apologize, gaslights his audience, and then finishes the video off with a shirtless dramatic compilation of himself. As Dylan predicted, he got absolutely ripped to shreds in the comments, and his reputation hasn't really recovered ever since. Alright, so that was it for the video. If you guys enjoyed it, please make sure to drop a like and to subscribe, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.